Thank you for joining us today. My name is Andrea McEwen Henderson, and I will be your host today. I am one of the national account managers with College Recruiter. Today, we will be speaking with Hassan Akmal, Director of Business Career Services, and Ren D'Onofrio, Assistant Director of Business Career Services, Employer Outreach and Relations, both from Loyola University, Chicago. College Recruiter, the leading niche job board used by recent college graduates to find entry-level jobs and students to find internships, chose Loyola University as one of 12 winners of its 2015 Hidden Gem Index Awards for being one of the best colleges and universities for employers who want to hire high-quality graduates who majored in business. College Recruiter used its custom research product to generate the rankings. The modeling for this Hidden Gem School project was to identify schools which featured high SAT or ACT scores for entering students, high average starting salaries for the regions in which the schools were located, a high percentage of graduates working in their chosen field of study, and a majority of the graduating class available for recruitment by employers. Hassan and Ren, thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations on the Hidden Gem Award. So today we're going to discuss some of the things that employers should know or think about when recruiting business majors from Loyola University, Chicago. So my first question for you is, how is your career services department different than the other universities around Chicago?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for, it's an honor for both of us to be here, Andrea, so thank you very much for the opportunity. Well, one of the things that really distinguishes Quinlan School of Business, Loyola University Chicago's Career Center is that it's state-of-the-art. So there's just a handful of universities that are really after a state-of-the-art career center. So what does that really mean? State-of-the-art programming, such as career passports that really engage the students, state-of-the-art software, such as 1220, which are career outcomes tools, and really our overall approach that creates sort of a magnet as a career center, so that students come to us. A university-wide, diverse, visible, living global business career culture that celebrates and breeds success. So what does that look like? When a student comes to campus, they see employer tables, they see alumni coming back who are really the connectors and representatives from those companies. And these companies are coming back and hiring those students time and time again, and they see success. So really I think it's the overall approach and the vision and the mission which we've created really from the students themselves.
Great. So now my next question for you today is, how do you prepare your students for employment after graduation?
Sure. So I think a lot of times students view employment or internships that's something that they can just get without practice, which sure, some students can get that. But what we like to do is really try to target our students at the beginning. So I mean, when you're a freshman and sophomore. So again, what Hassan mentioned, we constantly have employers on campus, whether it's for traditional recruiting events or for the more mentor side of it. So having a freshman come in just to the traditional networking and understanding what networking is, whether that's coming to us and to an employer to look over their LinkedIn profile, their resume, their cover letter. So by the time they are ready for that internship or full-time employment, they've expanded their network. We've also given them the tools and the confidence to really know what they're looking for and trying to find the best fit. What we try to tell our students is you're also, the companies want you, but you also want to work for the company that fits what you're looking for, fits your personal vision. So in turn, it makes everyone a winner, and it really looks fantastic for Loyola students to get what they're looking for from day one.
So how many commitments do you think an employer should consider in a given year if they're going to recruit on your campus?
That's a great question, and I think that varies with a lot of different employers. But our best employers, and what I mean by best is the ones that are the most satisfied, the ones that are coming back to us and just giving the most positive feedback, are the employers that really have about 4 to 5 commitments minimum a year. And what does that look like? It could be tabling the very first week of orientation, participating in an event called Career Week, where we invite employers to look at cover letters and look at resumes directly with students and have dialogues with their students. And they actually get a first glimpse at those students before the big career fair. So maybe they're going to pass up their table if they're not a big accounting firm. It might go straight to Deloitte. But by participating in some of those smaller events, they get to have their first glimpse of that student, and they can actually accept a resume and even schedule an interview before the recruiting season really gets into effect. Also, the career fairs. We have a few different career fairs throughout the year, and participating in those is very critical. And then followed by on-campus recruiting, which really, after the career fair, the employers really collect all the resumes at the career fair and then start scheduling on-campus interviews, really from the career fair all the way until the end of the recruiting season. And then informational interviews, and we have something called real-time sessions where alumni sit down with students and mentor them for 20 minutes. So a variety of different kinds of programming and events that they can participate in is really what we encourage. So I'd say minimum 4 to 5.
So what do you think employers are doing right when it comes to attracting top talent from Loyola University, Chicago, and Quinlan School of Business?
Sure. So as Hassan mentioned, coming onto campus, so getting those commitments throughout the year, not only is it free brand awareness for the particular employer, but they'll get to know the student population and kind of get to be advocates and expand their network. So they really are understanding, student A would be great in auditing, but however, we might not have the right auditing field. So instead of, just bypassing that individual, they're really getting to know them on a personal level and kind of helping them expand their career readiness as well. So along with, coming onto campus and getting that brand awareness, I think that's one of the main reasons.
And I think that they're really becoming a part of the fabric of the business school. So what does that mean? We have employers that are sponsoring our interview rooms. We have employers that are taking advantage of some of the things that we offer via a project called Project Enhance, which is really to enhance our relationship with the employers. What does that mean? Taking them to our Loyola Museum an afternoon, taking a tour of the campus, really getting to know our campus and our students as well as our staff. How are we state of the art? What is Project Bridge? Building relationships interdepartmentally directed towards graduation and employment. What kind of program is that, and how do we collaborate? And if they literally look at that model that we have, they'll see that the Business Career Services Department is really at the center. It's that magnet, and surrounded by academic communities, alumni communities, and employer communities, which they are central to. So I think really seeing firsthand our students and how forward-thinking they are, and getting a feel for our campus really is to their advantage. And I think just offering their feedback as well. So we have some employers that may not give their feedback about students, after they hire somebody, and sometimes they don't even let us know that they got the job. So the employers that do tell us, hey, this student was fantastic, or this student lacks confidence and things like that, we can take that feedback back to our students and really help them progress in their career.
That's good. That's good. So how prepared do you think Quinlan graduates are when it comes to career readiness, with professionalism in particular?
Sorry. No, we definitely encourage, again, our students to come day one. So as they're a freshman. However, I remember when I was a freshman, I was, scared of the career services. So I think fostering an open communication. And what's nice too is we also have classes. So what's nice with the Quinlan School of Business, our faculty has great buy-in with us. So they're constantly encouraging their students, even that freshman that's, maybe a little introverted, to at least come and say hi. It doesn't have to be a full advising session, but something so they at least know where we are. And trying to target those students by the time they are ready for that post-grad employment. I like to say they're very innovative, again, forward-thinking, and by targeting them those freshman, sophomore years, by the time they are ready, it's not new to them. It's something that it comes natural. Their confidence level is just there. It's not putting on a show in retrospect. Some people do.
Would you grab me one of those passports? And in fact, because we focus on career readiness, we actually monitor their career readiness. So from day one, our philosophy is be prepared, like the Boy Scouts say, right? So we don't want them to wait until they take career development much later. We want them to come see us their first week, their first 2 weeks of school, once they get settled, and just meet the team and start looking at their resume, start looking at their cover letter. Maybe they need an interview. And we created something called the Passport to Success. And what it is really just like an actual passport where they start their journey. And it's a checklist. And as they participate in different events, they actually get stamps, just like they would a visa.
Nice.
And we actually have them do a self-assessment on their pitch, on building their brand, and they tell us how career ready they really are. And at the very end, they do an exit interview. So we monitor their career readiness, and I can tell you that they are the best dressed out of all the different departments, disciplines at Loyola University Chicago, the business students in particular. And so they really have a very forward-thinking, very professional attitude, which I like to call a successful attitude, very positive attitude. And so I think that some of these programs and things are really working and helping these students stay engaged and take their career development and progression very seriously.
That's wonderful. I have one last question for you, and that's why do employers keep coming back to Quinlan to recruit, and you have so many alumni?
Sure. So, I mean, besides the students and the individuals they're hiring, I think it's just the fact that we really we foster a community. So again, we have the faculty, the staff members, obviously the students, our countless alumni, and they want to keep it in the family, basically. If you're a Loyola grad and you see a Loyola student on a resume, they have been through it. They've been through the academic rigor. They've worked with us possibly, and they just know, I don't want to say the ease, but there's a familiar commonality that works with it. And it's why they want to recruit their own, or at least have an idea, an option for that.
Yeah, and I think the world of career development is evolving in a way where you see career services offices underneath alumni services. And why is that? It's because a lot of these companies such as Bosch or Deloitte, where you see 30, 40, 50 alumni from Loyola working there, is because they like the talent that they're seeing and they're coming back and recruiting. And not only that, employers are getting smarter. And what they're doing is they're using those students or those grads, those new hires that have progressed and become managers as the connectors to the career services offices, as the representatives. And so when they have an informational session, it's those students speaking student to student, peer to peer, and the students just really listen to that. It really resonates with them because they're hearing from a former grad, someone who's walked through what they've gone through and can advise them and mentor them. So I think that's something that the employers are doing, which is really, really effective.
Thank you so much, Hassan and Ren, for talking to us today about your program at Loyola and what a wonderful group of students that you have. Again, congratulations on Loyola University Chicago being chosen as a 2015 Hidden Gem Award recipient for being one of the best colleges and universities for employers who want to hire high-quality graduates who majored in business. Again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Our pleasure. Thank you.